Boom! Welcome back to the CallMeNatty podcast, episode 14.
That was cool. Golly, I was not expecting that.
I got energy today. It's episode 14. Sponsored by
Sponsored by nobody because we have no sponsors.
No free promos. We literally have no sponsors.
Yeah, I mean, we're not an old podcast.
Well, I don't even have a sponsor. Sorry. Did I tell you about all that?
Oh, no. No, you didn't.
Oh, no. Oh, geez, man.
You didn't say it.
Well, I think...
Are we allowed to say that? Are
Yeah.
you allowed to say that?
Yeah, I mean...
Okay. I just didn't know if there was like a...
No, it's no bad blood, really. I'm just no longer with Magnum Nutraceuticals.
Okay.
I'll tell you the full story after.
Okay, that's understandable.
It's nothing bad. It's just...
well, no, it's time to move. People drop. Athletes and
I will not be the
move
next
on.
Logan Franklin.
People move on all the time.
Yeah.
So
it's
all
not.
good.
I'm not with anyone else, so it's not like I was leaving them for someone else. So.
Yeah, there you go.
Anyways, yeah. So welcome back to CallMeNatty podcast. We have some exciting news. We are now popular and relevant because the man
In the local scene and the...
Oh yeah.
A little bit of the local
forgot
scene.
about that, yeah.
I thought you were talking about what I was saying.
I was talking about Lee Priest.
Yeah,
man.
hey, Lee Priest. Shout out to Lee Priest.
He followed us. We're famous.
He gave us a follow. Hey, Lee Priest is a real one. That guy had a conversation like, I mean, not like a back and forth DM, but we posted on, or he posted his thing, and then we sent a message and tagged us in a post on his story and everything, and I was like, oh, dang, that was cool.
Anyways, Lee Priest gave us some recognition.
Yeah.
He reshared our story about the last episode.
Mr.
And that was
Powers.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. And he was funny. He said, we'll pop it up right here. But he said, basically that Brian said that he was making him relevant again, which is absolutely false.
Hilarious.
And the funny thing was, we didn't even know who Brian was until Lee
Yeah.
Priest brought him up.
I
We had to research
was
who
gonna
Brian
say,
was. We literally found that out last episode, who he was.
I told him, I was like, I put it on Lee's post, like for my own personal. I was like, I didn't even know who Brian was until you brought him up. And he was like, he liked it. And I think he said like lol or something. I got to double check. But I was just like, that's so freaking funny.
It is funny.
But it's like, yeah, bro, Lee Priest, relevancy? Okay.
Yeah.
Good one.
Yeah, Brian. Actually, I don't know Brian.
One of the best bodybuilders in the world. Oh, yeah, he's got to be relevant.
Yeah.
He always has. But anyways, so yeah, Lee Priest, love you, guy.
Thank you. Thank you for the love.
Yeah, appreciate it. That makes us feel nice and warm and fuzzy. Okay.
Moving on.
Skip that part. Anyways, so we got a little bit of news. Couple of subjects today. This might be a little bit of a quicker one, but hey, it's about quality, all right? Quality. So, we were talking earlier, and this actually is like a topic that Chase is gonna take over more. I'll probably butt in, but only reason for is because I'm doing a national show, so I'm like, oh God,
He's a weekend to prep.
Yeah, I'm a weekend to prep, so I'm breaching the 240 mark going down, so I'm about 4.5 pounds down right now, but I'm actually tightening up a lot quicker as far as like dropping water, and it's just like, whoa, it's getting real. But
It should get real fast since you only have
11 we got 11 weeks, so
yeah.
Definitely the foot is down on the pedal hard. It's probably gonna be like last year's too. I didn't get a cheat meal all 13 weeks. Now, granted, I didn't need one.
It's only 12 weeks, man.
Yeah, I know, and that's what I'm saying. It's just like this time I'm gonna rebound properly so that I can be well ahead of the next time I do a show. But regardless, nationals and national judging. So we're gonna be talking about judging today. Now, obviously, are we judges? No, I mean, I don't think we'd do a bad job at judging, but that's just
we've probably been to more shows than some NPC official judges.
That is probably true.
I don't know.
I know you have, but we're gonna be talking about judging and the national level because it's like this ain't your local show where it's like, oh, little Billy over there, he looks good, but he needs size. It's like Nationals is like, bro, you're talking about somebody is turning pro today.
Yeah.
And these judges
You're
are
making
not,
the decision for that.
Yeah. These judges are not taking it easy because it's like, hey, this is a representation. Wow, it took me forever to say that. This is a representation of the sport, and it's also on their what's it called? Their ability to judge. This is like a critique on them of like, are you gonna pick the best people to be there?
Yeah. So, with that being said, I believe, again, this is my opinion, but
we haven't said that in a while.
yeah, we haven't. It's just our opinion.
Our opinion.
Yeah, but anyway,
Merch coming soon.
Yep. Here's the thing: is like there's a difference between the judges, a big difference. The judging, not necessarily the judges, but the judging at NPC local shows and NPC national shows. And what I mean by that is, I think I have kind of formed this theory in my head, and you may or may not agree with me, we'll see, that judges from the local shows are judging based on what they have seen in the past.
Okay.
Judges at national shows are basing their judging on what they think it's going to be in the future.
Okay. All right. So you're kind of floating around prospecting.
Exactly. So
Okay.
I think that is a big, and I'm not necessarily going to say it's an issue in competing in bodybuilding because there does need to be some type of evolution, or
There needs to be a standard on all.
there
all
does
levels.
need to be a standard, but there needs to be some kind of change as the years go on, or we wouldn't have stuff like the freaks
Yeah.
on stage and like
Yeah.
open bodybuilding. You see what I mean?
I'll agree with that.
So
'Cause
it's like there does need to be some change, but we need to make it we need to format that change into where you actually see a consistent, and what I'm referring to is bikini.
Okay.
Because if you look, what's the most recent national? North Americans.
Yeah.
That's happened. North Americans just happened. If you look at the overall winner of bikini at North Americans, and you look at Miss Olympia, their physiques don't look anything alike.
Okay.
Like, I honestly think if they are going by the judging of, like, okay, put Miss Olympia. This is gonna sound crazy, but this is a claim I'm making. You put Miss Olympia bikini at nationals. I don't think she's getting top 5.
Oh my God.
I'm not even joking.
I'm waiting for the comments to flood in and be like, "You are stupid."
You're so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
But if you look at the judging, and you look, what I'm kind of leaning towards is like, it seemed like at North Americans, and my coach, we talked about this and everything, and he was there and he witnessed it. He said if you had round glutes and somewhat capped delts, you were placing super high. Your makeup, your posing
as bikini only.
Bikini.
Okay.
There's
okay.
only
Just
bikini,
Okay, just
we're talking about for now. But when I talk about the judging, I am talking about every division. But as far as bikini, it's like there's just no consistency. Like it's always changing, and they're always looking for one. But it was like at this particular show, they were looking for round glutes and cap delts. But like it was like makeup, posing, tan.
So just a hierarchy of this first, then we'll trickle down.
Yeah, it's like that. None of that even mattered. Like posing didn't matter, which is a big thing.
Okay, let me stop him right there. If there's one thing I have absolutely started to hate, because it has been very apparent, and we've even talked about this, and I'm pretty sure I've even seen it from Nick Strength and Power, or like just some bigger names in the industry, is that posing is starting to take such a back seat to literally. Now, granted, obviously, you have to be in shape. Yes. You have to be shredded. Yes. You have to be big. Yes. All that aside, let's just say you have two people identical. All right.
Yep.
And I'm not saying twins, but just like identical, same size. Their structure's the same. Their insertions are relatively the same. They look borderline the same. But it's like the pose. It's all right. It comes down to the posing to separate them across. But I just don't like that posing takes such a backseat, especially, and I'm taking this more to the classic side.
I know where you're coming from because it's like
that was a bad example. Now that I'm thinking about it in my head.
No, I know what you're saying though. Basically, what you're saying is if you had a very similar physique, same thing, and it doesn't even matter. Basically, you're saying this guy has horrible posing, but he's lean,
and then this guy's got fantastic posing.
And he's like very similar.
He's lean, but he's not as dry and dialed in as this guy. He's still very stage ready.
But the lean guy's still gonna win.
I don't know. I
feel like posing
I know
should
it's
have
all
a bigger part, especially in like bikini and classic physique. I feel like posing should have a bigger part.
And you know what's interesting about that is, and this kind of goes the same. And men's physique is one that's like starting to evolve it, and I kind of like it, and I don't, and I kind of hate it. Is that people are starting to really add these different posing routines to it, and I was like,
they're kind of like trying to cheat little poses.
Yeah, they're trying to like, let me get a bicep flex, and I'm going to go back to. It's like, I get it, but
now that
with
wellness, now that wellness is a thing, I start to see more similarities in bikini to wellness as far as the posing goes. Like bikini's kind of stealing a few things from wellness. And
yeah,
it's like
they generally all hit the exact same routine side, and I get it. It's like you have certain criteria that you have to hit, but it's just like I just don't. And the reason I brought it up is like classic is the greatest example because nobody's posing routine is the same, or at least they shouldn't be.
And there's people that have similarities,
but I'm saying like for instance, Terrence Ruffins, he's like
no one's gonna be like him.
That's what I'm saying. He's got such a pretty, like it's just when he does it, it's different. But
okay, so I will say this though, if you're talking about classic physique posing, I mean honestly, like Chris Bumstead's one of the most boring posers I've ever seen.
Well, it's just because
if it wasn't for his physique and he came out there and hit the same poses. It's true though. Like,
you're gonna get some hate from that one from fanboys.
But it's true though. Like C-Bum,
those fanboys
in the top 10 Olympia classic physique, C-Bum has one of the most boring routines.
It's not the most exciting. I will agree. I will agree.
And he even said he like comes up. He doesn't even come up with it until he's on the plane on the way to Olympia, and that's like showing zero.
Really?
Yeah, he's literally said that before. You can go back to one of his videos and watch it. And it's because he knows he has such a good physique, and it literally doesn't count in his posing as far as
I think it's gotten better.
Well, I'm saying is posing as far as comparisons and finals and things like that, like with each other, is fine. Like his actual poses he's hitting are fine, but I'm saying as far as his routine, he doesn't put much effort into it at all.
Yeah,
and you can tell.
Yeah, because it's like
because it doesn't matter.
Your criteria is like everyone has to hit the same thing to compare, and that's
Ian even said that. He was like, "Why would I practice so hard on something that doesn't count?"
And that's my point. Why is it like that?
I don't
get it, and I don't understand. Like, what is the point of even having it?
I think it should be like set up like it is with fitness.
Okay.
You have. I don't know how we stemmed from.
I don't either.
I like it. I like it.
We went from judging to C-Bum. Now we're off on something else.
We're done with the local judging.
We're still on the judging, but it's just like I don't understand. That was my whole thing about it.
Here's the thing: is it should be like fitness. So especially if you have an allotted, like, so it's hard. I'm trying to think of. So basically, classic physique, you have and open, you have your posing routines.
Yeah.
Open, I feel like should be just to kind of show off your physique and be a fun time. But classic physique, I feel like is a lot more involving posing. So I feel like there should be a percentage that you take from your posing routine and incorporate it with your actual physique that you're judged.
Sorry,
but I'm trying to think of like because fitness. I don't know what I don't actually know how fitness is judged. I need to research that. But they have a physique portion where they wear a bikini, and then they
do their criteria
routine portion,
and they do their full
and then they're judged overall from both.
Yeah.
So I think classic should kind of be like that, to be honest.
And I agree because it's like like you said, what is the point of me working on
that would make it way more interesting.
What is the point of me working? All right, so for instance, like we were saying, Terrence. What is the point of Terrence working? Because that guy works on his posing.
Logan Franklin
works on his posing.
Years like dude was Logan Franklin. I don't know about Terrence. Terrence is always working on posing, but
yeah,
I remember last year. like 2 weeks after Olympia, he said, "I'm already working on my routine for next Olympia."
Exactly. It's
A year. This dude worked on a routine for a year.
Because some things are going to work and some things are not. Especially as your body progresses and certain ways that you angle your body.
Oh,
that's
why, one thing is like some poses look so much better.
That's why I like it being graded or judged harder with them, because it's like, if you come out there and it's like, oh, okay, you hit your front lat spread, but then if you compose it into where it's like you're coming out of a double, I don't know, you're coming from a squat or a double back by thing, and then doing something and swerving into this, and it just looks like, oh my God, that looks like it perfectly connected. It's like you showed effort. It's like, you care about what you're doing. Like Terrence, he cares about his posing. I mean, they care and make it look good.
With that being said about Bumstead's being one of the most boring or whatever, I don't blame him, because he's not getting judged off of it. So it's like, why would you put a bunch of time and effort into something you're not even judged off of?
Especially something as tiring as posing.
Yeah, it takes a while. I mean, but it does make you better.
What's the routine? Like a minute?
So at Olympia, I think it's like a minute and 30 seconds.
Like
90 seconds.
So almost pose dance. That's the best way I can describe it, because some of them spin. They'll do a little twirl to make it nice and like, ooh.
Terrence.
But it's like
Terrence is a
squeeze. For anybody who's never really like done posing, I want just like, and I'm being dead serious, pose for a minute of just
60 seconds and just squeeze as hard as you can.
Squeezing your body.
I promise you will be
squeezing
sweating.
Everything, not just your bicep, squeezing your abs, your quads, your calves, everything, to try to squeeze that for
Glutes.
30 seconds, then jump to another one and squeeze. And you're having to jump through these things left and right and get your entire routine that you've worked on into the time frame. And it is exhausting. I remember when I was practicing posing, I literally hit my back and I was squeezing so hard my back cramped up, and I was just like, gah! And I literally just like collapsed over, because it can be so painful.
And this is coming from a guy who only does 2 poses.
Yeah, I only do 2 poses. It's just front, all right, turn around, all right, back, and that's it. I'm just squeezing.
I was about to die on stage. I did back to back to back. I don't even remember.
Oh, dude, when they did mine, like I said last time, I was squeezing so hard. If they would have taken another 5 seconds, my stomach was about to cramp up, and I was going to have just a lump and just be like, and honestly, that would have probably been, I probably wouldn't have placed what I would if it would have happened, because it's like, oh, it kind of shows, well, he's not prepared. He doesn't practice. He doesn't. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. This should count for way more than what it actually does. Because, and like you said, I don't blame Chris. If he can hit that front lat spread, which is it's been described to him, that is his money shot. It's like, once he does that, it's like, game over. Why would I practice doing all this when I could just perfect this right here and then be done, and then hit my other thing and be done?
Speaking of C-Bomb, he's officially been titled as the most popular
I saw that
ever.
I saw that. He hit 10 million on Instagram. Because Nick was doing a video on that about what would Arnold have been back in the day if social media was there. And it's like, honestly, you can't really judge what it would have been, because it's like they didn't have it. It wouldn't have. It probably, honestly, it would have probably been close to the same today, I would imagine.
Man, I can't wait to tell my kids. You want to know who the most popular body? It was C-Bomb. They're like, what?
Who's Dad? Who is that? Who are you talking about? But anyways, we just jumped.
Yeah, that was
the
bad.
Judging. Basically, what we're saying, the judging, once you hit a national level, it jumps up such a level that it's like, hey, we're not talking.
Like, you could have gotten first place at every single show you've ever competed in, and go to nationals and get 14th.
Yeah, you can be all right. Second call out, and it's like,
yeah.
What do you mean?
And there's people that have gotten barely qualified for nationals that freaking win the overall.
I will say this. Or there is a certain level, and I think this goes to play with what judge, like obviously it's what judge is doing it.
Yeah.
Because judges aren't like, I'm assuming judges are not just like jumping in and out, in and out, in and out. It's some of the same judges over and over and over because they've put in the time, and it's like their opinion is very
cut and dry.
trusted because it's like, they've judged for, XYZ amount of years, and they know what they're looking for. They know like what he was saying. You look good here, nationals. They know what you can look good down the road. Like they know how to project. It's almost like baseball. I'm not kidding. I played college baseball, and I remember I went into a game and I went 0 for 4. But I didn't strike out. Like I went 0 for 4, hitting the ball hard, hitting it into the outfield, hitting it in the gap, and just, it's unlucky. You can hit the ball as hard as you want, and it can go right to an outfielder, and boop, and you're out. It's like that's just the name of the game.
Yeah.
But we had one of our second baseman. This guy was 5'5", 5'6", maybe, about 180 pounds. He was a stocky guy. He hit one bomb, hit another one to the moon, but it was foul. And he was like, I think he was 2 for 4 with like 2 runs batted in. They skipped him to come talk to me, even though I hit the ball hard and I got out, because it was like, 6'2", 180, 190 pound frame. You've got projections to go someplace. And it was like, I'm so sorry for you, my guy. But that's how I feel what you're trying to say with these judges.
Well,
like
I didn't really think of it that way. I mean, that's a good way too. But what I'm saying is,
it's a little bit different, but it's a sign. It's parallel.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like they pick physiques, not that they think is going like they think they look good now, but they think that the division is moving
Headed in.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's what I've been so confused about, because like how you're saying with men's physique used to be, when it first came in, it was more like, the beach body wasn't super shredded. So, it was more like, wow,
like he's modeling category.
Yeah, you were like modeling, but with like more muscle, and you looked really good. I remember they used to wear tennis shoes on stage, and like I've seen a guy walk on the Olympics. I don't think this was. Huh?
I don't think this was IFBB.
Maybe. Well,
I don't think
I could be wrong about that.
I don't think that.
But I do remember seeing like an Olympia stage. It could have been the first year like shows were even out. Like dudes were on stage with tennis shoes and like flip flops on. I'm not even kidding, because I saw it and I was like, "What in the world?"
It's just funny to think about. Like Steve Cook was on the Olympia stage for men's physique.
Yeah, and
Jason Poston and Sadiq when he was smaller.
Sadiq, and what's the other guy? He's like he was always shredded. He was in the. He's got
Jeff Seid.
Jeff Seed or Seid? Jeff Seid. He was there. It's like these guys
Logan
were.
Franklin.
Yeah, but he was like the later era.
Oh, not really. No, he was there.
Was he?
Yeah, men's physique.
I think because he crossed over like 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
I don't think it was that long, man.
Jeez, that's a heck of a crossover to jump over that quick. And
well, I mean, his legs were freaking. The last men's physique show he won, I think it was the Arnold.
What?
Yeah, he literally pulled his shorts up on stage, and it was like,
why are you there?
What are you doing? What are you doing in this category?
Why are you in this category? Yeah. But yeah, it's just like judging takes such a leap of, like you said, you can be first in every single show, and then bam, second call out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, you've got to work on this. You've got to work on that, and it's like, dang, you get reality checked quick.
Yeah.
Like, and sometimes it is. I'll put it this way. Now, granted, this is only going to be my second show, and I'm doing a national show of that. I'm not going into the show, and I'm not trying to say this to downplay myself, because I'm not. I want to go in and bring the best package I have, and I believe we're going to do that. But I'm not going in with this thing of the head of, I'm going to be top 5, 100%.
What he's saying is he's not going into it with unrealistic expectations.
No, because I know, like I said, there's somebody turning pro. There's a category of people that will be pro at the show at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
And they're going to have pro level physiques.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just how it is. Am I a pro level physique? No. I'm probably barely even close to being a national physique, and even that's a bit of a stretch. But that's just because of my dumb brain is like, I'm not negative on myself. I'm just hard and realistic, because I was like, hey, that's like what we were talking about before. It's like, do you think I would step on stage at Classic with these? Heck no. I would be so skinny. I mean, I am skinny, but that's what I'm saying. It's just like, I want you. when you step onto these stages with these judges, you have to be real because they're gonna be real.
Yeah.
They're gonna be real with you, and it's either gonna hurt your feelings, and you're gonna, what do you mean? I did everything right. Okay, and
So did everyone else.
yeah, it's like you gotta just be like, all right, okay, that hurt a little bit, so
Do
now
better
we'll go
next
back to
time.
the drawing board, and we're gonna come back bigger, more shredded. However, it's like asking the judges, hey, what do I need to improve?
Yep.
All right, I'll get on that. But then a year later, yeah, we've kind of went this way now. It's like,
Hey,
make up your minds.
if I go back and don't win and they tell me I need to be smaller, I would actually be very happy.
Yeah, that's more.
Okay.
That's
We
more
can
of
do
like
that.
that's like a you failed successfully type
Yeah.
of thing.
Literally the only critique I've ever gotten was you just need to have more muscle mass. That's it.
Yeah.
Just fill out your frame.
That's what I asked, and I was like, hey, what, I'm XYZ, class D, whatever. What do I need to do? And I even said to myself and even to my coach, I was like, I know what they're gonna say already. You need more size, but that's the only thing I want them to say. And that's what they did. He's like, your conditioning was good. You were definitely had really good conditioning. You just need more size. And I was like, understood. I already knew that going in.
Man, I think the Olympia judges lied to me though. They said my posing was good, and I looked at my pictures. From then, I was like, that posing was not good. They were tripping.
But well, yeah, that was a long one for
That was
judging.
a-
But we're gonna jump subjects now. That was just like that was a real one though, because it's like people need to know this. Especially if you're gonna compete or do anything, you've got to be hard on yourself.
and expect the unexpected.
Yes, because if you expect I'm 100% a top 5 guy, okay,
Yep. Prepare to cry that night.
good luck with the second call out. Now, unless you're just a freak of nature, I'm being real with I'm talking about the people who are just I'm good, but I don't know how good I am. It's like, okay, go in with that mindset of that everyone's better than me and that I'm the underdog. And first off, that's going to help with your stress levels like crazy.
Absolutely. Yep.
Because you're going to be like, I'm not expecting to win. I'm going to come out and be dialed.
Look,
Because
honestly,
you're not going to be, you never know who's going to be there.
That's the
and who's
thing,
not
man.
going to be there.
Honestly, let me say this, successful bodybuilder I've ever seen, all they say for every single, Chris Bumstead said this, Logan Franklin said this, pretty much every bodybuilder that you could think of right now that you love, they've always said they are happy if their physique improves each show. No
Exactly.
matter what their placing is, if their physique improves each show, then that's all that matters. And that's why I try to tell every single person that competes. It's like, what place did you get? Like, honestly, I don't even care what place you got. It's, did your physique get better? Did you improve? Did you work on the things you wanted to work on? Like, you're going to get everything you deserve if that keeps happening.
Oh, I was 215 last year. I was 222 on stage this year, and I was shredded, more shredded. It's like,
yeah, that's
good
a
job.
win. I don't say, oh, how big's your trophy? I don't care.
Yeah.
It's like, that's awesome. And you know what? You keep doing that, you're going to get the win that you deserve.
yeah. But, everything, like, don't count us professionals. Obviously, we're not yet. But, that's just,
Hey,
you gotta be real.
Imagine a day where
We're both professionals.
we're both IFBB pros on this show.
I better be filling out this seat. That's my. Hey,
I gotta be filling this one out.
I was gonna say, how they say it's like, I judge my progress on the shirt. I'm judging it off this seat.
Yeah, this
I want to
chair.
be. I want this chair to be
If I get this wide, we got some issues.
big. They call it your Instagram's Big Chase. They got to change it.
Big chase.
But but regardless, judging. You got to be prepared that it's always ever evolving. You can't base yourself off of, oh man, Breon's physique or Brandon's physique. I got to look like that. It's like, get the best you can as yourself, and you never know. Someone could be like, whoa, we really like the way this guy's looking.
You are never going to look like someone else. I've been victim of this too. I've sent a picture of Urs to my coach, and I said, do you think I can look like this one day? And he's like, yeah. Like, why wouldn't you be able to look like that one day?
I got it.
It's just like,
I got it. I remembered what it was.
what was it?
No comparisons, only progress.
I like that. That's good.
That was the one I was going to say. That was because I was looking, because I even said this. My coach has had 2 guys who did nationals, and I think they did North Americans.
Okay.
And they looked great. Like they shorter guys, but it's like they looked very compact, very like muscle bellies looked really full, and they were definitely shredded. And my first thought was like, dude, they would they look way more filled out than me. And I was just like, nope, don't look at Instagram. It's like this prep that I'm doing is to look at my own picture from last year and be like, I've improved tenfold. It's like, that's all I can do.
That's it.
So, but
Jumping
that's it for
subjects.
that. Yeah, we're gonna jump subject because that was a good one. But
That was a good.
Big
can bring that up again in the
Ramy,
future.
we gotta bring up Big Ramy. Everybody's on Big Ramy's case right now.
He's looking big.
That boy looking like a big old piece of meat. All right, he's juicy, and he's juicy.
Everything except for his waist.
He's juicy in the shoulders.
Yeah, a little extra juicy in the shoulders.
He's a little oiled, if you would say.
Looking a little
now,
oiled.
I've heard
oil
Nick.
filled.
I've heard no, it wasn't Fuad. Crap, who was it?
We'll never remember his name.
Nick brought it up. Yeah, I didn't remember. I'm gonna get his name because I love his info.
We'll
But,
pop his name up right here.
Yeah, I'll find his name and put his page up right here. Great information. Love watching his lives. He's solid guy. But Big Ramy, controversial picture that he is looking extremely. And Nick even said this is like he is with that little bit of bump. It's like, dude, he looks so wide. He literally looks like just 2 doors stuck together. Like it's just it doesn't make sense.
That's the weirdest description.
Yeah, I know that was a bad whatever. But he's already big. It's like I don't think he needs to worry about being bigger. He just needs to be dialed.
Conditioned. Yeah. So I think what we're talking about is his shoulders are like extremely capped and
Capped up too. Like like how he was posing, they looked like they went up.
Yeah.
I was like, good
He's
gosh.
he's not leaned out yet for the stage, but it's
He's
like
still got 14 weeks.
yeah, it looks very, very, very unnatural and
Suspicious.
yeah, it's just like if they are using these oils and stuff, synthol and all that, then
You mean to tell me Big Ramy is not natural? No.
it's like, well, that's the thing is like, why does it surprise people so much that they would use the synthol or other like?
That was the same thing with Hottie. They were saying Hottie was drop. They were saying these arms suck. I got to get some more. They were saying the same thing with Hottie last year. It's like, yeah, he looked a little soft here. It's like, is he using SEOs or
I don't know.
whatever? But it's like Ramy's specifically. It's like he's already got big shoulders and he looks like he's just massive. But it's just like that picture alone. It was just like,
Yeah.
It was a little much.
Well, what the one guy was talking about was like seeing like a lot of these top bodybuilders, you don't see striation in their delts anymore. They're just freaking round. But also, I thought about that too, and it's like, well, a lot of the poses that these guys are hitting aren't necessarily poses that you would see striation in. Because I guarantee you, like, I'm pretty sure if Big Ramy hit a side tricep and was like pulling his arm down, you would 100% see striation.
Yeah,
right there.
and I think when he means striations,
Because I mean, like it was like he was just like in a front lat. Like you're not gonna see a ton of.
So I want to say I'm just gonna say this, but I need to go back and double check, but I'm just gonna say it anyways. I'm pretty sure I saw somebody or something or like Lee Priest even comment on something having to do with the SEOs or whatever. And it could not have been him. Maybe just my having a brain fart. But somebody commented, or it might have been the guy that we were talking about earlier that I couldn't think of, talking about the SEOs going in. It's like they're looking round, but it's like they don't look as grainy and hard with that stuff. And somebody made the comparison. It's like, wonder what Big Ramy would place in the 90s, where everybody was just, and I'll have to agree. It's like if you go back and look at old school bodybuilders, bro, you want to talk about peeled?
Yeah,
These
guys were peeled.
It was disturbing how peeled they were.
It's true.
Guys now are definitely bigger, but it's like it does seem like conditioning to that level in the 90s. Now, granted, they may have been doing some crazy protocols, but still, people still do that today.
We a lot more people dying now than we did then.
That is true, but that's what I'm saying. It's like conditioning back in the 90s is like, it seems like it was way more judged than it is today. And I mean that with like all due respect for judges and anybody else. But
they're only comparing what they have on stage.
Yeah, that's true. But it's like, somebody said that I could have sworn it was Lee Priest. It was just like, somebody was like,
sounds like something
what would these guys compare into the 90s? And it was just like, oh, they wouldn't even be first call out. And it was like, it might be true.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a good one. I don't know.
Because those guys were big.
They were. Yeah.
They were not small. The 90s bodybuilders, 80s and 90s were not. And obviously through the Jake Cutler era and Ronnie Coleman era and like everything, yeah, they weren't small by no means, and they were definitely shredded. But it was like, man, the like 90s bodybuilders were just, I mean, it was weird. The striations in their shoulders looked like if you rolled across them and just go.
This just made me have like a cool flashback to when like the first time I saw like a real bodybuilder. It was
Who?
It wasn't in person, but I was at Uncle Phil's gym. My uncle, shout out Uncle Phil. He owns a gym up in Birmingham called Iron Beach Gym. He kind of got me started in bodybuilding. And anyways, the first like real bodybuilders I ever saw were in these magazines that he had in his gym. And I remember looking at the covers of these magazines. And I remember seeing Ronnie Coleman in them too, but I saw some other people, Dexter Jackson, a few other ones, and I was just like, this is like doesn't even look real. Like these guys look like aliens. Mm-hmm. And you just like, I don't know, I feel like you do see that kind of, but not really.
Yeah, it looked like they were way harder back in the day.
Yeah.
And like I said, that's no disrespect to bodybuilders today, because there's some guys you see in person, you're like,
they're doing what they can.
Good gosh.
Hey, they may have just had better streaming than they do now.
Oh my god,
our live streams freaking suck.
Yeah, they are. We've discussed that, and I'm sure we'll have to discuss that in the future again.
Yep,
but
because we're throwing a watch party for Olympia.
Yes, that's definitely going to be coming up. But yeah, Ramy, it's just, I don't know if he is using it. And granted, the guy we were talking about, pop him up here again. He was even talking about, he knows a guy who's that runs like an SEO clinic, or not clinic, but a site. He's like, there's a lot of oils out there that obviously are not good. And he's like, and there's some that you can get. And I'm not endorsing this by any means, but he was saying like a lot of these guys who are professional at the top professional level know how to use this stuff to where it disperses properly, and they don't have any buildup, and they don't look like a swollen.
Well, I mean, it's just like anything
like
else,
marshmallow.
Man. Like you got to have it done professionally. It's just like Botox. Like girls and guys mess their face up so bad.
Best example.
Well, it's true, because some people mess their face up so bad and they look like these freaking creatures, and then some people get it and it makes them look a lot better and younger.
Wow, you look.
Yeah, it's just like there's good ones and there's bad ones. So synthol, the same thing.
Does Mike do Botox?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
You know who told me he did?
I was gonna say, because my boy's got better skin than I do, and he's 50.
This is gold right here. You know who actually told me in person that he did?
Mountain Dog.
Yeah. He did. He actually told me because I asked him. The first thing I asked him, I said, I have one question for you. He's like, what's that? I said, do you think Mike O'Hearn's natty? And he laughed so hard. It was the best thing ever.
He's basically, it's like him admitting to it now is pointless, but him not admitting to it now is like, it's like such a moneymaker for him.
It's hilarious, yeah. So it's just like, and the Mountain Dog was like, he's like, I would say he's natural, but it's just like, if he'll do all these other things, it's kind of like, why would he?
And hey, like I said before, Mike O'Tren is definitely, he's definitely one of those one anomalies of just like he's supposed to be, I brought it up to him. He's like, he's supposed to be working out with Sadiq, and I can't remember who else he named, but he's getting in shape, and he did a photo shoot, and it's like, this guy is 52, almost, or he might be 53 now. This guy's 52, 53, and he looks as good as he does. He's got tighter skin than these young bodybuilders who are competing, and this guy just does it to get in shape for a photo shoot and to just sell his products, which is, that's fine. But it's just like, he is not the same.
Yeah. He's not. Hey, we should make a goal right here on this podcast, on episode 14. The guy who pretty much started our podcast and is like the base of our podcast, which is Mike O'Hearn.
Oh, Mike O'Hearn.
And kind of gave us our first little shove. He commented on our posts and everything and liked it or whatever. I think we should make it a goal to have Mike O'Hearn on this podcast one day.
And not just on a Photoshop thumbnail.
No, like actually Mike O'Hearn on this podcast one day. I think that should be our ultimate
I can
goal.
do a voice call in through this thing. It can do it. I doubt he'll come in person, but
I mean, like even if it was like bro chat style, like
voice over, Zoom. I think he does do a lot of Zoom. He
we
definitely
could,
does.
We could both sit right here and freaking.
He does do a lot of Zoom.
But we have to, if we do that, we have to come up with some really good.
Oh yeah, we can't just be
we
like.
Gotta come up with some good questions.
So how are those duck eggs?
Something he's never heard before.
Oh God.
And then after we get
Good
done
luck with that
asking
one, I'm
him
sure.
all of his questions, our final question is going to be, and our final question is, are you natty or not?
Are you natty or not?
And then he's going to hang up.
Pull a Kenny KO. Are you really natty? Yeah, go on. But I just jumping from that, it's just like the whole thing about Ramy is just like, it may be suspect, but he's not on stage yet. So what does it matter?
We'll see.
Like, I don't want to say what does it matter, but what does it matter?
It doesn't. It really doesn't.
It's like there is. You don't think some of these guys aren't doing
like,
some
why are you-
unorthodox
yeah, I was about to
things?
say, why
Like,
are you so worried about? Why are you so worried about this one thing that he's injecting in his body when you know there's a lot of other things?
It's like the comparison picture of, you see him throughout the history of time with bodybuilders. Derek Lunsford's before and after. It's like, that's 3 different people.
Dude, I can't wait to see what he's doing.
Nick Walker's comparison when he first started, you would think that guy had anorexia, and then now you look at him and his legs are 3 of your bodies.
That's funny.
So it's like you said, you're surprised that he's doing this. Why?
Yeah,
I think it's just one of the. It just makes a news story, and that's obviously that's what we're here to do. Nick Strength and Power. That's what he's there to do. It's like it's just to get people informed, and honestly, it's to get people aware of things that are happening in bodybuilding. And I'm just saying that as a not a formality, but just it's like, because I'd be willing to bet there's a lot of people that listen to Nick's videos who may not be the biggest in it, but they start listening to him. It's like, oh, I'm getting into bodybuilding. It's like, what does SEO stand for, or what is? And it's like, it's just informational awareness of like, hey, these things are real. And
when he says Nick, he's talking about Nick Strength and Power. Not Nick Trigilli.
Yeah.
Just to make that
you
clear.
gotta make sure that's clear. But it's just like new people are coming in and out of bodybuilding every single day, especially now. It's like there's such a wave of young high school kids, and I get it. Honestly, I think I don't want to say it's a fad, because some of them really see it all the way through, but a good number of it's a fad. Yeah. And I don't mean that
it's
any
just the
disrespect.
cool thing right now.
And it's like, man, I want to look like C-Bum. It's like, buddy, do you know what it takes to look like C-Bum?
Well, for one, you will never look like C-Bum.
Oh, yeah, true.
You'll look like you, but better.
Yeah. It's like, and that's where it goes. No comparisons, only progress.
Yep.
That's all you need. As long as you're better than you last time you did it, hey, you can hold your head up high even if you're dead last.
Yep.
That's where we're going to end it.
That's a perfect place to end.
Thank you for joining us. This is episode 14, so awesome. And we will be back, and we will be getting our first guest in just a short couple of weeks. So you definitely want to stick around with that, because it's going to be in-depth, detailed conversation about some stuff in the bodybuilding world. It's not going to be just like a good old time, but we're going to get hit with a wave of information. So appreciate you watching and listening, commenting. Definitely comment below. Whatever. I don't know.
If you watch this video, please just take a second to hit the subscribe button and like it for us, and leave a comment on what you would like to see in the future.
Yes.
Or any topics you would like.
Give us some topics you like.
Yeah.
I stopped saying it. I never really liked doing the whole subscribe, like now, hit the bell. No, I just
if you made it to this part, we appreciate you.
Yeah.
Either way.
Yes.
So,
shout out to oh gosh.
Well, you might want to start that over.
Who was it I sent you?
What? You said Chase and Tanner.
Chase and Tanner. Dude, I'm sorry I forgot your name. I'm not good with names, but I know your faces. Shout out to Chase and Tanner. They came up to me at the gym and was like, hey, you run a podcast. We like it. And I was like, buddy, you want to talk about that? Made me feel so freaking good. I was like, Lee Priest was amazing. But it was like to see somebody do it in person, I was like,
that is cool.
Hey, that's
thank you for
nice.
the recognition.
I appreciate it. But
Yeah.
that's going to do it for us. So
Until next time,
yep.
stay natty.
Stay natty.